Hi there, my name's Beth, and today I'm going to be doing my August wrap-up and September TBR, because August is already passed, and it's the end of summer already, basically, and it's crazy how much time has gone by already. It's like 2/3 of the way through 2014 already, and I'm not prepared. No. But I had a good reading month this month. I ended up reading 7 books, and I got about halfway through an 8th book. So I feel like that's a success. And yeah, so let's get into this because I feel like this is going to be a long video and I'm going to do my September TBR on top of it. But that's going to be like this much and the wrap up is going to be like this much. So the first 2 books I read go together because they are the second and third book in a series, and I read the first book in July because it's September, so I can't say last month. But I read Sapphire Blue by Kirsten Gier and Emerald Green by Kirsten Gier, the second and third book in the Ruby Red trilogy. I'm not going to review these because that would just spoil the first book, and the first book is so good, and then these 2 books just get better as they go. I believe I gave both of these, if not the entire series, 5 out of 5 stars, and if not, I think it was like 4 stars for the first one, and then 4.5, and then 5, because these books do just get better as they go, and it's such a good series. It's probably one of my favorite trilogies that I've read so far, and I've read Hunger Games and Divergent and all those, and I love them, but I absolutely like fell in love with this world. It's so fast-paced, the characters are so not relatable because who really goes time traveling, but the characters are super like easy to read, and it's just an awesome world, so highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars for like this entire series. The next book I read, and this month you're gonna notice pattern because I totally read just a bunch of like dystopian. This isn't really dystopian, but I'm totally gonna call it that, kind of. It's more like an action, like a sci-fi action book. I don't know. What is this classified as? Comment, please. But the third book I ended up reading this month was Reboot by Amy Tintera. I totally read like 80 pages of this book, or 50 pages of this book, back in April, and I just picked it up again. I was totally trying to like finish off series, finish off books, start things. I don't know. I was just having a good reading month. So, yeah. This book was so good. It's totally like a new spin on zombies, kind of. This book takes place where people who die, well, it's more like kids and teenagers who die, can be rebooted, and however long they are dead for, that's when they come back. They are either stronger or weaker. Well, they're always stronger than the average human, but it depends how long you're dead for. You have, like, that much greater power to you. So, the main character, Ren, I believe, I'm gonna fail, yes, Ren, was rebooted 178 minutes after she died, making her, like, one of the strongest reboots ever, and as 178, she is, she's gonna train a new reboot, and she picks Callum, who is a 22, making him, like, pretty much human still. And this book is just so good. This is the first book in a duology. I don't have the second book yet, but I'm potentially going to have it in the next, like, 2 days. Hint. But this book is so good. It's so fast-paced, and after the first, like, 50 pages, which I didn't even need to reread because I remembered what happened, this book just flew through. I read this in about 2 days, and I'm not a fast reader, so that was so good. It was so good. and I can't wait to read the sequel, or the second book. But yeah, highly recommend this one as well. I believe I gave this 4 out of 5, maybe 4.5. I'm not too sure, but I just was like on Goodreads adding reviews and ratings as I went. So I believe this was a 4.5-star book. Ding. Next, oh my gosh, what did I read after Reboot? I ended up reading a contemporary book, as we do apparently. Just because this book has been on my shelf for a long time. Well, not really. It's newer. I don't know what I'm saying. This book has been, really anticipated. I really wanted to read it ever since I first heard about it. I forget who I heard about it from. But, this is Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. And this book, I think I gave it 4 out of 5. It might have been 3.5. It was good. I'm not gonna deny that, because it was good. It wasn't, my favorite book. However, it could have been just because I wasn't in the mood for a contemporary book. It took me, a week to read this book, and it's only, 300 pages. Yeah. So, but it's so good. It was good. It wasn't, my favorite book that I read this month. It is, one cool thing is that the main character is LGBT, so she's a lesbian, and her best friend and her find this letter from this, super famous person's home to this mysterious daughter of the celebrity. But it turns out that the daughter has passed away, so they look for, the next person mentioned in the letter, who turns out to be, the famous person's granddaughter. And, so they're looking for the person, and they find the person, and then the whole story, that's half the story there, because it's basically trying to find someone who is in this letter, and, they meet a whole bunch of super awesome people in this book. Yeah, I'm not doing this book any justice at all, but it was so good. But it was, not what I wanted to read. So, yeah, 3 out of 5, potentially 4. I'm probably going to reread this one at some point. The next book I ended up reading was Cress by Marissa Meyer, and this is exactly what I wanted to read at the moment, because it's dystopian, kind of. It's sci-fi, it's super fun, and I read Cinder and Scarlet back in April or March. I don't really remember. I think it was April. Let's go with April. And I read this book in about 3 days, and it's a pretty big book. It's 550 pages. Not a fast reader, but yeah. So this book was super good. It's the 3rd book in the Lunar Chronicles, and it's a retelling of Rapunzel, except the main character, Cress, is supposed to be Rapunzel. It doesn't solely focus on Cress, it also focuses on Cinder and Scarlet and Wolf and Thorn and all these fun things, and Prince Kai is in there still a little bit, and Queen Lavana is in there, so it's the whole world just coming together. And Winter is supposed to come out in November of 2015, and we're supposed to be getting I don't know if it's another part to this series, or if it's a novella type of thing. It's called Fairest, and it's supposed to be coming out in January or February. And that is from Queen Lavana's perspective. So I think that'll be cool to read, because I'm loving this world. Next, I read The Program by Suzanne Young. This is another dystopian. This one is 100% dystopian. Yeah, and I absolutely love this book. I think I gave it a 4.5 out of 5. Potentially gave it 5. Not too sure. I think it was 4.5. But this book takes place in a world where suicide has become an epidemic, and the only way to cure the depression and all that is for anyone under the age of 18 who's showing signs to be put in the program where they basically erase your memory so you don't remember any of the things that make you sad. Well, the main character Sloane and her boyfriend James are trying so hard, like, not to be put in the program, but once their one friend commits suicide, James gets depressed, and Sloane does everything in her power to try to keep him from the program's clutches, but inevitably bad things are gonna happen. And then once, this might be a spoiler, but once James is thrown in the program, about 3 weeks later, Sloane also catches herself, like, having depression and all that, and then the program grabs her, throws her in, and yeah, shenanigans ensue. But there is a sequel to this book. It is the first book in a duology, and again, I might be getting this book in the sequel in the next couple of days. Apparently, there's a third installment, not like a direct sequel to this, or trilogy, I guess, but it's supposed to be like a prequel book, so it takes place before this in the same world, and it's different characters. That's supposed to be coming out in 2015, so I'm super excited. And the final book I completely finished this month was The Hunger Games. This is a reread. I don't even need to explain this because everybody knows what The Hunger Games is. Everybody. So, yeah, 5 out of 5 stars this time, and for some give 4 out of 5. So, I absolutely love this. I think it's just like getting back into the world, and just so good. So, the book that I was reading, I got like halfway through, and I've been reading this book for like a week now, and I'm only halfway. And that is The Unbound. This is the sequel to The Archive by Victoria Schwab. This book is also by Victoria Schwab. Yeah, I'm like halfway through it. It's so good. I've just been like in a slump a little bit, and I've not had ambition to read. But yeah, I'm gonna change that for September. But I broke my spell of having like a really good month and then a really bad month, because I've had 2 really good months in a row. And I read 7 books, and I read 7 books last month, and if I could have finished this, I would have had 8. But whatever, this gives me a good chunk to start for my TBR for September. So, first book, I'm going to be finishing off The Unbound, and yeah, because that was my 4th TBR book of August, and I got halfway through, but I read the other 3. So, first book. And then the next book I'm planning on reading is Catching Fire by Suzanne Collins. Well, I don't know like what order I'm going to read these in, but this is the sequel to The Hunger Games. It's really shiny. And yeah, I'm just loving getting back into the world of The Hunger Games. So I want to reread it. The third book I have planned, I'm sorry this video is so long, guys. But the third book I have planned, I was hoping to read in August, but I never got around to it. And that is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. This is a sci-fi book. I've heard really good things about it. Yeah, so I'm excited to read this one, because that's why we read books, because we're excited. And then the final book, I'm going to do something I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to pick out of my TBR jar. So I'm just going to open it up and get a good grip on one, and let's do this one. I have no idea what these are, so I don't remember what I put in here, so this will be fun. Okay, so the book I'm going to be, the 4th book potentially, I'm going to be reading this month is The Lightning Thief, and where are you? Right here. Here we go. This is the first book in the Percy Jackson and the Olympian series by Rick Riordan? I don't know how to say that. Yeah, I'm so excited. I have been wanting to read this book for so long now, and I've totally forgot it was in my jar. And yeah, so this book, or this series has 5 books, and then the Heroes of Olympus series is soon to have 5 books, so if I could read like all 9 of those books before the last book comes out, oh my god. It's not gonna happen, but that'd be great. So yeah, I'm super excited to read this, and I own the entire Percy Jackson series, like the Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Got it as a box set. So I'm super pumped. I can just marathon this whole series if I want. I can just read one book at a time if I want. Yeah. Sorry this video is like 16 minutes long, but I do like everything in the one video, and I had a pretty good month. So yeah. In the comments, let me know what you read in August, what you plan to read in September. If you just want to say hi, say hi. Hi. So yeah, until next time, have a great day or night. It's 10:30 in the morning. So have a great day, and if you're watching this later, have a great night, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!